telling me I should take medications about it. But I keep saying, no, it's not an everyday thing. It's okay. But I almost had an anxiety attack yesterday. And it wasn't even brought on by stress. I was in my mom's room, and I went to go slide down between her bed and the wall. Because there's a small space there, and I slid down there, and I got on my side, and I was trying to reach under my bed. And as I reached under her bed, I had this anxiety attack. Like, it wasn't even anxiety. It was more like claustrophobia. Like, I was in a closed-in space, and I started bugging. I was like, oh my God, I can't breathe. Like, I felt like my brain started shrinking. My brain, everything just started getting small and more intense. And I was like, oh, no. I slid from up under there, and I got up. And as soon as I stood up, it went away. I was like, am I claustrophobic in a way? I was like, is this the anxiety? Because it felt the same as when I had an anxiety attack before. So I'm going to tell my doctor about this, that I think I may be claustrophobic as well, or anxiety brought on by claustrophobia. But I see that one, as as crazy as it may sound, that has an instant answer. As long as I don't put myself in a closed-in space, I'm fine. But it's not even it's like when I'm not on my feet. If I'm not on my feet, I have to be elevated. Like, as long as I'm sitting down and my head is straight up, I'm good. If I'm laying in my bed, as long as I'm elevated in my bed, I'm good. But as soon as I lay flat somewhere and it's closed in and my head and my feet are on the same plateau, I bug out. I almost lost my mind a little bit. But I went out today. I went out 2 days ago. I think it was the day before yesterday. And I did a podcast entry outside in the car. But I don't know if I'm going to post it, because I was way too excited. I'm kind of shouting in the phone, and there was so much noise from the shopping cart when I was pushing it around, because I had my phone in my hand. And the sound of the cart thumping is so loud. I was like, this is a really, really crazy entry. I don't know if I should enter it. But I hope y'all have a great New Year. I pray everything comes true for you this year. I pray everything about me comes true this year. I pray I get my little job. I pray that, that's what I was thinking about. Media success or entrepreneur success. I was told that for me to become who I truly am, it's going to take a long time. And that is not what I want to hear, because I'm already 42. I'll be 43 this year. And, I've given up on so many things in my life. And I just want to stick with something that's going to manifest something beautiful. And the things I talk about from the experience I come from, this is a never-ending lesson. And I know a lot of you, or the few people who do hear me, you're not going to get it from me right away. There's just an energy I get off that may bore you in the now. So you may push me to the side and say, I'll just listen to that. I'll listen to that when I'm depressed. Or maybe if I have 15 minutes during a day in like a month or so, I may come back to it. And that's fine. I can't force you to listen to me. But in me having to be here, having to stick to something where I have an outlet so the stress doesn't build in my brain, success in this is not about the monetary part. And me having to accept that, it really hits you in the pride. Because everyone wants the overnight success. But my life is so not an overnight success story. And to me, realizing the growth and how long it took me to grow and what I've been through, social media may be the same. I may be the type of artist that maybe 4 or 5 years from now, someone may pick it up like, hold up, she's been down here for years. And then, and then I slowly build from there. But there's something I have to build through this. There's a consistency that introduces me to media that makes me stronger. I'm so illiterate in how social media works. Over the next, especially by the end of this year, I plan to strengthen my tech savvy, to find out more about the Twitter sphere and the Snapchats and how they work, and how to better market myself, and how to create commercials to better my brand and become healthier and become stronger. So I attract you the way I'm supposed to, and not because I'm buying you. You know what I mean? Excuse me. So, I'm realizing, and I'm putting more of a reality check on my expectations with this. Because this may not be a monetary outlet for me. This may just be a therapeutic way for me to keep myself in the now for other possibilities in my life. So I can practice the conversation and how to talk. So maybe someday I'll have a chance to talk and have a great conversation with someone important. You know what I mean? So I just have to keep this conversation going and keep it up, because you only have to, one person has to hear this. I'm knowing doing this because somebody out there needs to hear this. And that one person, it may save that one person's life. One person may be so happy to hear from, like, oh, I'm so happy she's talked about this, because no one's talking about it. And then maybe all these conversations are just for that one person. So, taking in effect, God puts everyone. I said to my mom earlier today, God makes everyone unique. And what a lot of people do, especially when they compare themselves to other people, they smudge that distinction line. So it's almost a blur where you kind of mess up that distinction that God made you different, because you're trying so hard to compare and be like everybody else. And then there's no way for God to distinct blessing from blessing. And you may be giving away your blessing by trying to be like somebody else, which was completely unique for you. And then you end up with a blessing that's not yours, and you think it's okay, but God may have had more for you. But because you played down to it, now He played down with you. Because you had the distinction in your hand and you chose to give it away. Coming up on 22 minutes. And that's what I believe. That's what I've been thinking about today. I came full circle with something in my life, especially when you have an impact area within from what you've been through. When you come full circle around yourself, you have to watch your abuses or where your pain surfaces, because a lot of times we prejudge people, or we wait till after it's done and we hold grudges and we don't forgive. So I always have to keep track of that to make sure that I'm not manifesting something so deep that I don't recognize that as evil until I react in a way that ruins my karma. Because I am very fragile. I hold karma in very high regard. I have things in motion and in the works and in the turbines going that are very fragile. All over the package it says, this is fragile. Handle with care. And the moment you mistake forgiveness or the moment you step out of yourself to challenge somebody, you don't know what power that person holds. And they may have the most fragile thing of your plan to better your life in their hand, and then they and they drop it, and the next thing you know, you're set back so far, you can't even think straight. So stability is also forgiveness, having a groundwork in forgiveness. Just saying, I believe in karma, and I choose forgiveness first. Because if I don't, somebody may have more power than I think they do, and then all of a sudden, there goes the monkey wrench, and everything I held dear to me, everything I sweated blood for, stepped out on faith and got humiliated for, whatever it is, it means nothing. And I did it for nothing. You don't want to have that type of resentment within where you can't even thinking about dreaming ever again. It just like kills you inside. You just give up completely. You don't even want to live anymore. I'd rather just be a forgiving person than to be that scorned within and have nothing left to live for. So in that, stability is also forgiveness. Stability can be volatile, and stability has to have forgiveness in it. You have to forgive the volatileness, the interruptedness, the pettiness that comes with the moment. All these things are grabbing onto the same thing. There's like a single thread that controls the entire working of life, and every type of energy in every form is holding on to that tiny thread. And that tiny thread is you. And every time you breathe or you think or you move, one of those feelings is reacting on you. If you don't have forgiveness pushing you forward, that volatileness will have you like a bipolar beast, just ripping through everyone's life, destroying everything. And I should know, when I was younger, in my teens and 20s, I was like a wrecking ball without a head. And it wasn't intentional. I just couldn't control my energy. I was just crashing through. It's like crashing through things, breaking things in curiosity. Just, oh, what does this do? And then it slips out of my hands and breaks. And you're like, oh, what does that do? You're like, get this girl out of this house of glass before she breaks every single thing in here. So that when you're volatile, you have bouncing energy, you have to have a plate of forgiveness beneath it. Because a lot of things are going to break, and a lot of things are going to have your fingerprints on it. And you just have to have the motive to repair and the salvation within from Jesus to make sure that you mean what you say. So whenever the pain resurfaces, it is always comforted. It is always in comfort. So people know, oh, she's not intentional. She means what she says. Talk about relationships too, and me being this person and vowing to be single till I get the thing right. You know, you attract a lot of good energy. I'm digging the energy, but there's naiveness in that dig, so I have to be very, very careful. Anyway, it's we're coming up on a little over 26 minutes. I thank you for listening. I don't want to talk too much of your head off, but that's just how I feel about this and about that. But you know, I thank you for listening. You know, I love you. And I'll see you when I see you. Talk to you later. As much as I thought I could plan a podcast, that is not going to happen. I do not have the mindset to sit here. Chop up block how I'm going to tell you about weight loss and weight gain.